mic. Yeah. All I need is one mic. Yeah. All I need is one mic.
Hey everybody, welcome back to One Mic, where I watch shit so you don't have to. And today I'm here to talk about episode 1 of the new HBO series Laetitia, which premiered Monday, August 30th. Now, I don't know, I didn't know too much about this show. You know, I kind of saw a trailer for it. It wasn't even really a trailer. It was kind of like a brief ad for like things that HBO had coming out. There's something else coming out with Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain, I think on like the 12th, that I have some interest in that I'll probably end up covering on this channel. But I saw both of those things and I was immediately drawn to the Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain thing. But the more I looked into this Laetitia show, the more interested I became. So episode 1 came out on Monday the 30th. I watched it on Tuesday, and I'm here to talk about it. What I'm probably going to do, and in my research on this show, I found out this actually came out in 2019. It's from France. And the whole thing's in French, by the way. So if you're somebody who's averse to subtitles, then this probably won't be for you. But please, if you're somebody who's averse to subtitles, work on that, because you're missing out on a lot of great shit, including Gamora. But that's neither here nor there. I noticed it came out in 2019, so I'm trying to find the actual, the whole thing, just so that way I don't have to wait 6 weeks to see what happens here. But I mean, hey, that's an indication of how much I enjoyed it though, right? So I think I found it. I'm working on trying to download it. The only issue is going to be, I don't know if it's going to have subtitles or not. If it doesn't have subtitles, I don't speak French, so I'm fucked. And I'll just have to wait every week, like those of you who, I don't know how many of you are going to end up watching this. I don't know how many of you are going to end up watching the show, but I'm going to be stuck in the same situation as you guys, waiting week to week. But on to the show. I thought this first episode was incredibly compelling, and I'm going to tell you why. Generally when you have the show's about it's essentially a murder mystery, at least on the surface it is. And it's based on a true story. It's about an 18-year-old girl. She has a twin who goes missing. And, we have to find out what happened to her. What's interesting about this show is that, for all intents and purposes, the mystery is solved in the first episode through a variety of witness accounts and stunningly helpful witness accounts. Like I figure when you have situations where a girl goes missing and you're looking to find out what happened, most of the people you talk to are either going to be uncooperative or just not very helpful. Like, oh no, I don't know this person, or yeah, I saw him, but whatever. Like, there's a guy who shows the cops a text message. Like, yeah, 12:30, she texted me this. Here it is right here on my phone. They interview probably like 5 or so guys, which what I'll get to later. I think the fact that they interviewed 5 guys, maybe 6, 5 or 6 guys about what happened to her that day, I think is important. But they interview a guy that's supposedly her boyfriend. They interview the guy that she's cheating on her boyfriend with. They interview a guy who works with her that I think clearly has a crush on her. They interview a guy who sees her at the bar. They interview a guy who sees her, I think, like outside of a hotel. Like, they interview all these guys, right? And they're like, yeah, I saw her. I saw this. I saw that. This is what happened. It leads them to the next person. And essentially, they find the guy and he confesses all in the first episode. Like, she goes missing. They get all these witness accounts. They find the guy who did it, and he testifies. End episode. And it's a 6-episode limited series, so there's obviously going to be a lot more that happens here. And I think what's going to be interesting about this show is that it's going to be less about the events of that night and what happened to her on that day, and more about the what happened that led up to that point, their backstory, so to speak, or what happened in the past that led to these events. So there's a few things that this show does that I think that kind of like lead me to that assumption, right? So we have flashbacks that are at times pretty hard to watch. They show a history of abuse, both toward their mother and toward them as children, the twins. There's a really pretty graphic scene, 2 pretty graphic scenes where one of them, the father holds one of the babies over a balcony. Like, we don't see it clearly, like we see it through like a frosted kind of balcony window, but still really wild shit. And then there's I guess a rape scene where we don't see the actual rape, but we see everything that led up to it, and we see the aftermath, and we see one of the girls is awake at about the age of 4, hearing this happening. So some pretty rough stuff. They've already established that the father is abusive. Well, I have to rewind a little bit. Their original father is abusive. They currently are with foster parents. And they've also played up the idea that the foster parents might not be on the up and up as well. There's a moment where they show Laetitia talking with the guy that she's cheating on her boyfriend with. And she says, my parents are really strict. They're always spying on me, watching, my comings and goings and whatnot. And then there's another moment where, while the whole family is worried, the twin that's alive and they know where she is, Jessica, she's like leaning on the father, and he starts to kind of caress her cheek as she pushes his hand away. And that could be just a symptom of not being able to accept grown man affection because of what their father was like, which, again, so far we've only seen 2 scenes with their father, their original father, and these were as infants and as 4-year-olds. So I'm sure there's still far more to see with the father, but that could just be a symptom of them just not being comfortable with adult male affection because of how their father was. Or it could be a sign that the foster father's, hasn't been so great either. So there's a lot of things that I think lead me to the place of when I said that I feel like it's important that they interviewed all these guys. I wonder if because of the abuse of the father at a young age, if she is prone to hanging out with more guys or more prone to being taken advantage of by men. Because the guy who ultimately is the one who supposedly kills her, he takes advantage of her. He's got her drinking. He's got her smoking weed. All this kind of stuff, right? So I'm not going to get into the details of everything that was revealed throughout the first episode, but we learn a lot about the backstory. Well, not a lot, but we learned some about the backstory of them with their original birth parents. And then we learned that there might be some things going on that we don't know about in the present day as well. Laetitia has written some letters that we don't know who they're for, what their purpose was, but at the very beginning, 3 months prior to her disappearance, we see a letter that said, look around you, it's not just me lying. We don't know who that's directed toward. We don't know what it's referencing, but that's how they opened the show. And then we fast forward 3 months, and then we're at the point of her abduction. And the person who captures her makes it almost sound like a crime of passion and like an accident. But if she's already talking about, look who's lying, 3 months prior to that happening, there's a lot of stuff that's built up to that. So I'm excited to see what they have planned as far as are they going to not just give us more backstory about the original parents, but, learn more about the guy who did this. Because this actor, whoever this is, he plays a psychopath very well. This guy's frightening. Really good stuff. I mean, I think he hasn't had much on-screen time yet. He may end up with much more, but he's scary, kind of like how, oh man, I forget his name, but the guy on Mindhunter was scary. But yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff they can do here, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. So a couple other things I want to talk about. The 2 girls who play Laetitia and Jessica are both already doing a really good job. Marie Colombe plays Laetitia, and Sophie Breyer, I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name, plays the sister, Jessica. The guy who plays the killer, his name's Tony. That guy, like I said, playing a great psychopath. Really excited to see what they're going to give this guy to do throughout the course of these 6 episodes. I wonder if the sister, Jessica, knows more than she's letting on. She spends most of the first episode very quiet, not saying much, not responding to the police very well, claims to not really know much of what's going on. But her quietness, the brushing away of the father's hand, and the presence of the letter concerns me about how much Jessica may actually know and be involved here. The police find the letters. They give them, well, they don't give them to Jessica, but they tell Jessica that they exist outside of the parents. They send the parents out of the room, the foster parents, and they tell her about these letters, and the letters allude to thoughts of her own death, stuff like that. And we overhear Laetitia in a flashback saying that she plans on leaving. And Jessica says this to the police, she wants to move. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's what she wants to do. So there's a whole lot that I think led up to this. And episode 1 painted almost like a crime of passion, and everything's wrapped up. And I think that their past with their original parents, I think that there might be things happening with the foster parents. All of this, I think, is going to lead to what ultimately ends up happening between Laetitia and Tony. And I think it's going to be something that's much more complex than what we're looking at on the surface. And that excites me. So I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully I'll be able to get these 6 episodes. Hopefully they'll have subtitles and I can watch those, do the videos, and then just put up, have them scheduled to come out every Monday. Because I think the show airs Monday at 9, Monday at 10, something like that. So that's the plan. If not, I'll watch it on Monday night or something, and I'll get a video up on Tuesday. So I don't know how many people are going to be watching this. I don't know how many people are going to watch this show, but if you watch it, subscribe, get the notifications, and I'll see you guys every Monday night or every Tuesday to talk about these next 5 episodes. All right, peace.